My beloved child, pause for a moment and breathe. Before anything else moves forward, I want you to feel how intentional this moment is. You didn't arrive here by accident, and this message did not surface randomly. Stay with me. This part matters. You may have sensed it already. A subtle shift. A quiet change that didn't come with explanations. Plans that once felt certain suddenly dissolved, and you were left wondering why something so specific changed without warning. You don't have the full picture yet, but that's about to become clear. There are decisions people make that are not about convenience, not about conflict, and not about avoidance. Some decisions are made in the private chambers of the heart, where truth becomes impossible to ignore. What happened recently was one of those moments. You may be tempted to interpret this through the lens of loss or distance, but don't rush there. That interpretation would be incomplete. What looks like a cancellation on the surface is actually a redirection beneath it. And that redirection is deeply connected to you. Stay with me. You need to hear the reason, but it must unfold in the right order. There are times when people reach a threshold where pretending no longer works. Where continuing as planned would require them to silence something heavy inside. When that happens, the soul chooses honesty over routine, even if it disrupts expectations. This is one of those times. The pause you're witnessing is not rejection. It is recognition. Recognition of something real that can no longer be ignored. Recognition of a connection, a truth, a feeling that surfaced at the wrong time but with undeniable clarity. They didn't change plans lightly. They wrestled with it. They weighed the expectations, the traditions, the explanations they might owe others. And yet, something kept pressing on them, quietly but firmly, until they understood they could not move forward as if nothing had changed. This is important. Don't skip. The reason this matters to you is because you are part of what surfaced. Not as a problem, not as a complication, but as a truth that asked to be acknowledged. You didn't ask for this. You didn't orchestrate it. But your presence in their awareness shifted something they could no longer compartmentalize. Sometimes alignment begins by interrupting what no longer fits. You may wonder why this is happening now. Why not earlier, why not later? Timing carries meaning. Certain seasons amplify truth. They strip away distractions and bring unresolved matters to the surface. In those moments, continuing with old plans feels dishonest, even if no one else would notice. They noticed. And because they noticed, they had to stop. This doesn't mean everything is resolved. It means something has been activated. A process has begun internally that cannot be rushed. What you are seeing is not an ending. It is a necessary stillness. Stay with me, because this next part matters. When someone steps back like this, it's often because they need space to listen. Not to outside voices, but to the one they've been quieting for too long. That voice is not confused. It's precise. It's asking for alignment, not performance. And alignment requires honesty. You might feel the urge to fill the silence, to assume responsibility, to question your worth or your role. Release that urge. This is not about you doing more or less. This is about truth rearranging priorities. There are doors that don't open with force. They open when timing and clarity meet. Right now, clarity is still forming. What you're being invited into is patience without fear. Trust without pressure. Awareness without control. That's not easy, but it's powerful. You are not being pushed away. You are being held in consideration. This pause exists because moving forward without acknowledging what has emerged would create fracture later. This moment is preventative, not destructive. It's protective in ways you may only understand with time. Stay with me. There is something else unfolding beneath this that you haven't been told yet. Not because it's being hidden from you, but because it hasn't fully formed even for them. Understanding comes in layers, and they are still in the early ones. What matters is this: you are not forgotten in this process. You are present in it, even in the silence. Sometimes the most meaningful shifts happen quietly, without declarations, without explanations, without immediate resolution. They happen internally first. Externally, all you see is a change in plans. Internally, an entire framework is being reconsidered. And that takes time. You don't need to chase clarity. It will arrive. You don't need to demand answers. They will surface. What you need right now is steadiness. You are not behind. You are not missing out. You are not being sidelined. You are being positioned. There is a reason you were meant to witness this rather than be shielded from it. It's teaching you something about trust, about timing, about how truth moves even when no words are exchanged. Don't rush to conclusions. Let understanding come to you instead. This is not the moment to retreat into doubt. It's the moment to stand firm in who you are, without explanation, without apology, without fear. What is meant to align with you does not disappear when paused. It becomes clearer. And what is unclear right now is not gone. It is becoming honest. Stay with me just a little longer. The strength in this moment is not loud. It's quiet. It's the kind that doesn't need reassurance because it knows timing works in its favor. You are being asked to embody that strength now. There will be communication when it's time. There will be movement when alignment is complete. Until then, your role is not to interpret silence as absence, but as process. You are not waiting. You are standing in awareness. And that matters more than you know. Hold steady. Keep your heart open, but grounded. What is unfolding has purpose, even if the full shape of it is not visible yet. This moment is not taking something away from you. It's preparing the ground for something that can stand without fracture. Stay present. Stay calm. Stay aware. This is not over. It is aligning. My beloved child, remain here with me. What I'm about to unfold now sits beneath the surface of everything you've already sensed. If you felt the first stirring resonate quietly but deeply, this next movement will bring clarity. Don't skip. Stay with me. Silence has a language, and right now it's speaking louder than words ever could. What you are witnessing is not distance growing, but awareness deepening. There is a difference, and recognizing it changes everything. When someone steps away from what was planned, it's often because they've reached a moment where continuation would mean betraying what they now know. And once a truth is seen, it cannot be unseen. This is why things didn't simply continue anyway. Something rose to the surface that demanded respect. This is where many misunderstand. They assume pauses are signs of uncertainty or indecision. But some pauses are the opposite. They are signs that clarity arrived so suddenly, it required stillness to be processed. This part matters. There is a weight that comes with recognizing alignment. It asks questions the heart can't ignore. Questions about intention. Questions about direction. Questions about what deserves priority now, not later. And when those questions appear, noise becomes unbearable. You may feel the quiet as absence, but from where I'm speaking, it is concentration. They are listening inwardly in a way they haven't before. That listening required space. That space required change. You didn't cause confusion. You triggered honesty. Stay with me. What you're sensing is not a withdrawal of care. It's a recalibration of truth. There are layers being examined now that were previously buried under routine, expectation, and timing that no longer fit. Sometimes people follow a path simply because it was set long ago. They don't question it until something interrupts the flow. And when that interruption comes, it doesn't shout. It whispers. But the whisper carries authority. You were part of that interruption, not by force, but by presence. This is why your role right now is not to fill gaps with assumptions. It's to hold your ground with quiet confidence. You don't need to insert yourself into the process. You're already part of it. Don't rush this. There are alignments that only reveal themselves when pressure is removed. When performance stops. When appearances no longer dictate movement. That is the stage unfolding now. What comes next will not be impulsive. It will be deliberate. That's why patience here is not passive. It's powerful. You might wonder what this means for you personally. What you should do, say, or prepare for. Let me be clear. This moment is not asking you to change who you are. It's asking you to remain steady in it. There is strength in not reaching. This pause is allowing something to settle into truth rather than fantasy. Into clarity rather than projection. Into alignment rather than compromise. Stay with me. When someone chooses stillness over tradition, reflection over routine, they are choosing integrity. That choice often feels lonely at first. But it's necessary. And integrity always reshapes timelines. What was once expected to happen now had to step aside so something more honest could breathe. That doesn't mean outcomes are fixed. It means intentions are being examined. You are not being evaluated. You are being acknowledged. This is important to understand. There is a difference between being someone's distraction and being someone's awakening. Distractions are entertaining but temporary. Awakenings are unsettling but permanent. You are not being entertained away. You are being taken seriously. That's why this moment feels heavier than casual distance. It carries meaning. Don't interpret heaviness as harm. Sometimes weight is simply significance being recognized. There is a quiet sorting happening now. What aligns? What doesn't? What can continue unchanged? What must be reimagined? And you are not on the outside of that sorting. Stay with me. This is not about holidays or plans or timing on a calendar. Those are symbols. What's really being addressed is direction. Priority. Truth. The external change was necessary because the internal shift reached a point where pretending would have created fracture later. This pause is preventing that fracture. You are witnessing maturity, not avoidance. Let that settle. You don't need to protect yourself by pulling away emotionally. You don't need to brace for loss. What's being asked of you is grounded presence. Be where you are without tension. What aligns with you will not require you to shrink, chase, or doubt yourself to exist. Alignment recognizes alignment. And recognition has already occurred. Stay with me a little longer. There will be a moment when movement resumes. It won't be rushed. It won't be chaotic. It will be clear. When that moment arrives, it will make sense why this pause was essential. Until then, your peace is your anchor. You are not waiting in uncertainty. You are standing in awareness. Hold that posture. This is not delay for delay's sake. It is preparation for something that must be entered honestly or not at all. Remain calm. Remain present. Remain steady. What is unfolding is not working against you. It is working toward alignment. My beloved child, stay with me a little deeper now. What I'm about to share moves beneath explanation and into understanding. This is where many lose patience, but those who remain gain clarity. Don't skip. This part matters. There is a quiet fear that rises during pauses like this, a fear that asks whether silence means loss. I want to settle that within you now. Silence does not erase connection. It refines it. It removes noise so truth can stand on its own. What you are experiencing is not someone drifting away. It is someone standing still long enough to hear themselves clearly. That distinction changes everything. When truth begins to surface, it often disrupts comfort before it brings peace. The mind wants resolution immediately, but alignment unfolds in sequence, not speed. That is why this moment feels suspended, as if time itself slowed down. Stay with me. There is something sacred about pauses that are chosen rather than forced. A chosen pause signals respect for what is at stake. It means the person understands that proceeding without clarity would cost more later than waiting costs now. You matter enough for them to stop. Let that settle into you. This moment is asking you to trust the process without demanding control over it. That doesn't mean becoming passive. It means remaining rooted while things rearrange around you. You may notice old questions rising within you now. Questions about timing, about intention, about whether you should protect your heart. Those questions are natural, but they don't need to be answered immediately. They are signals, not commands. Stay with me. There is a difference between guarding your heart and closing it. Right now, you are being guided toward discernment, not defense. Discernment keeps you open while anchored. Defense shuts you down. Remain open. Remain anchored. This pause exists because something real is being taken seriously. Casual things don't require reconsideration. Significant things do. And significance changes behavior. What's happening now is a reordering. Priorities are being examined not through obligation, but through truth. That kind of examination cannot be rushed without distortion. You are not being sidelined. You are being factored in. That's why this feels heavier than ordinary distance. Weight accompanies importance. Stay with me. There is a deeper layer you haven't seen yet. It involves courage. Not the loud kind that announces itself, but the quiet kind that chooses honesty even when it complicates life. Courage looks like stopping. Courage looks like saying, I need to understand this before I move forward. Courage looks like choosing integrity over appearances. That courage is present here. And courage often begins alone. This is why your role is not to interpret the silence as abandonment, but as engagement happening inwardly. You are not being ignored. You are being considered in a space that doesn't allow for spectators. You don't need to chase answers into that space. They will come out when they are ready. For now, your steadiness matters more than your questions. Stay with me. There is something powerful about remaining calm while something meaningful is being decided. That calm is not weakness. It's trust in timing. What is aligned does not unravel because of pauses. It strengthens. You may feel moments of doubt rise unexpectedly. When they do, return to this truth. What is meant to move with you will not require you to fracture yourself to keep it. This pause is protecting both of you from moving forward on unstable ground. Let that bring you peace. The path ahead is not closing. It's clarifying. And clarity takes patience. You are not losing momentum. Momentum is being redirected into something sustainable. Stay present. There will come a moment when words replace silence. When movement replaces stillness. And when that happens, the foundation will be stronger because of this pause, not weaker. Until then, remain as you are. Whole. Aware. Grounded. You are not waiting in uncertainty. You are standing in truth as it takes shape. My beloved child, remain with me in this stillness. What unfolds now is subtle, but it carries weight. This is where understanding settles, not all at once, but deeply. Stay with me. You need to hear this. There is a moment in every meaningful shift when clarity begins to replace confusion, even if nothing outward has changed yet. That moment is beginning now. You may feel it as a quiet steadiness returning, a sense that the ground beneath you is not as uncertain as it once felt. This is because truth, once acknowledged, starts to stabilize everything around it. What you're witnessing is not hesitation. It is discernment. Discernment moves slowly because it cares about consequences. It understands that some choices shape futures, not just moments. You are part of a future that is being carefully considered. Stay with me. There is a reason this unfolded privately rather than publicly. Some realizations need protection while they take form. They need space to breathe without interference, without pressure, without the expectations of others shaping them prematurely. This isn't secrecy born of fear. It's discretion born of respect. You were not excluded because you don't matter. You were held in mind because you do. There is a difference. As clarity grows, it often brings discomfort before peace. Old assumptions begin to loosen. Familiar paths begin to feel less certain. That discomfort is not a sign of error. It's a sign of honesty. This is where many people try to rush resolution to escape discomfort. But rushing would distort what's emerging. That's why stillness was chosen. Stay with me. You may be tempted to assign meaning to every silence, to read between lines that haven't been written yet. Resist that urge. Meaning is forming, but it hasn't fully arrived. What has arrived is commitment to truth. And commitment to truth always slows things down at first. This pause is creating a clean space where intentions can be examined without distraction. Where alignment can be felt, not forced. Where choices can be made from clarity rather than habit. You are not being weighed and measured. You are being honored in the process. That matters. There is also something happening within you during this time. You are learning to remain present without needing constant reassurance. You are discovering a steadiness that doesn't depend on immediate answers. This is not accidental. Moments like this refine perception. They teach you how to listen without fear, how to trust without clinging, how to stand without tension. Stay with me. What is being prepared will not require you to abandon your peace to receive it. That is why peace is being strengthened in you now. You may not see the full picture yet, but you are being positioned to receive it with clarity when it arrives. There is no need to brace yourself for disappointment. That posture would close you off from what's actually forming. Instead, remain open and grounded. Openness does not mean vulnerability without boundaries. It means presence without resistance. This is a season of alignment, not explanation. When movement resumes, it will feel different than before. Not rushed. Not uncertain. It will carry a sense of rightness that doesn't need validation. And when that happens, this pause will make sense. Stay present. Stay grounded. Stay aware. You are not being delayed. You are being prepared to step forward without confusion. What is unfolding is steady, intentional, and purposeful. Remain here in confidence. The clarity you seek is already on its way. My beloved child, stay with me as we move into deeper certainty. This is the point where understanding becomes strength, not just insight. Remain here. This part matters more than you realize. There is a quiet transformation that happens when you stop waiting for answers and start standing in trust. You may not have chosen this moment, but you are choosing how to hold yourself within it. And that choice is shaping what comes next. What has been unfolding is not fragile. It does not depend on perfect timing or flawless communication. It depends on truth being honored, even when it disrupts expectations. That is what you are witnessing.